achieved. You're making me feel bad, Aesop said. I'll give you one more chance. If you accept me, it won't matter to me how handsome that guy is anymore. How about it? Haven't you already fallen for him? But I haven't completely stopped liking you yet. Perseus smiled and shook his head. Unfortunately, you've already fallen for him. I don't want a woman who's changed her mind, so it's enough for you to focus on liking him. Aesop's eyes lit up. In that case, it'll be too late to regret it later, okay? Aesop gave him a kiss on the forehead and ruffled his hair. All right, from now on, we're just buddies. You have to support my love life. Perseus smiled and nodded. Tell me who that tall woman is first, Aesop said seriously, gesturing with his hands in front of his chest. Good heavens, that face, that figure. Even I, a girl, can barely resist. This is a serious threat. Don't worry about it. She has no chance, Perseus said calmly. How do you know? Aesop asked suspiciously. And you're so sure? Because I'm here. Perseus pointed to himself. Aesop thought for a moment, then suddenly realized, and a smile spread across his face. Oh, you womanizer. So you've been eyeing her all along. But I guess I can't blame you. No man could resist a woman like that. Except for the one you've got your eye on now. Aesop chuckled. Really? Then I'll start to suspect he doesn't like women. Don't worry. He definitely likes women. How can you be so sure? He's unmoved, even though there are women of that caliber who like him. So what woman in this world could possibly tame him? Because the woman this guy likes is my wife, Perseus said quietly. Aesop's face stiffened, then he asked, puzzled, which wife? My only wife is Juliet. What about Miss Angie, Miss Cerbella, and Miss Lalatina? They're just girlfriends. You rascal, Aesop sighed. It's a good thing you didn't agree to my request. Perseus smiled without saying a word. But then again, Aesop cleared his throat. I'll just say the truth, don't take offense. You say, your wife Julie and doesn't seem as pretty as that other one over there. Does she? So, who do you think is prettier, by Yin or that woman? Of course it's Lord White Flame. Aesop said without hesitation. That's right, Perseus said. My wife is more beautiful than White Flame, and of course more beautiful than her. Really? Aesop asked skeptically. I won't believe you unless you show me with your own eyes. We'll see. Perseus shrugged. But since you're so sure about that woman's beauty, how can you be so sure you can beat her? You're asking me? Ask yourself. Aesop's eyes widened. Ask yourself. Aren't you the best example? Aesop's smile was meaningful. I'm not as beautiful as that woman, but you're not as handsome as that man either. Yet your wife likes you and doesn't like that man. What does that show? It shows that looks are important when dating, but it's not just about looks. Besides looks and status, I'm confident I can definitely beat her in that aspect. Perseus stared intently at the spot she was pointing to and shook his head. You still lost, didn't you? And you suffered a crushing defeat. Aesop's face flushed red and then turned pale with rage. He roared in a low voice. I meant heart, not breasts. Do you believe I'll take you down with me, you bastard? Look at you, I was just trying to lighten the mood, wasn't I? Is this your excuse for maliciously slandering me? Aesop's eyes reddened. Seriously injuring a poor woman you rejected twice. Stop playing around. I've always believed you were going to win. Oh my God, why didn't you say so earlier? Aesop laughed and slapped him hard on the back. Cough, cough. That was a bit too much. By the way, didn't you say you were going to introduce men to Alice too? Aesop is truly remarkable. Even in a moment like this, he doesn't forget his best friend's lifelong happiness. Of course I have plans for her too. My greatest virtue is honesty and trustworthiness, Perseus said calmly. I know you didn't believe me back then, but now you should know what kind of man I am, right? Aesop nodded vigorously, his eyes sparkling. How about Alice's? Not much worse than mine, right? You'll see when you see it. It's definitely no worse than yours, Perseus said with a smile. He should be arriving in Eagle Peak City soon, and you'll have a chance to meet him. What if hers is better than mine? Can we switch? Then you should ask Alice if she has any objections. Don't let her appearance fool you. She has very high standards. She might not be satisfied with the guy you introduced. If you're satisfied with this one, she'll naturally be satisfied with that one. Interesting. The most interesting part is yet to come. Perseus was full of ambition and determined to take this opportunity to bring about 2 marriages. If he gets Andre under control, Ivica will be safe and Lovia will be his. Once Jerome is dealt with, Ivica is safe and Mellifera is his. A no-prize guessing game. Who will be the biggest winner? Chapter 1, 91 new members. What are you and Alice doing here this time? Perseus asked again. Where are your brother and the others? My brother and sister-in-law went on a date, Uncle Ken is working out, and Alice and I are going to the Earl's mansion for a free meal, Aesop said. I heard that a member of the royal family came to the city last night, and it seems that they are staying at the Earl's mansion. I also want to see them. After Aesop finished speaking, his eyes suddenly widened in disbelief. Could it be that the guy you're going to introduce me to is... You're really only just realizing it? Perseus was a little doubtful. Aesop's brilliant expression froze on his face. Then he take this punch. Punch at Perseus's face, but luckily Perseus was prepared and caught her fist. Perseus was baffled. Why did you hit me? Do you know how many noble ladies have begged me to introduce them to you? I couldn't even be bothered to look at them. I introduced them to you for free, and you're still angry? You. Aesop trembled with anger. You should have told me sooner. You caught me completely off guard. It's not too late to know now, is it? Perseus smiled. Of course, if you feel too much pressure and can't handle it, just pretend I didn't say anything. Anyway, he doesn't know I'm going to introduce you to him. As long as you give up now, nothing will happen. Who said I was going to give up? Aesop sneered, pulling her fist back. Anyway, I've already set my sights on him. I don't care who he is. I'll just watch how I take him down. Perseus couldn't help but applaud. Miss Aesop, that's what makes you so impressive. To be honest, it was your extraordinary courage and mindset that sparked my idea to connect you two. Otherwise, I would never have mentioned it to you. As long as you can maintain your current state, making your dream come true is not a problem. Aesop rolled his eyes. You're going to introduce the crown prince to me, but you're not going to introduce some prince to Alice either, are you? Miss Aesop is truly brilliant, Perseus said with a smile. Aesop took a deep breath, his expression troubled. If it were anyone else experiencing something like this, they'd probably be terrified, right? I think so, Perseus agreed. Who exactly are you, you rascal? Aesop stared intently at Perseus. How come you're so close to such an important figure? Could you really be the emperor's illegitimate son? Perseus sighed. I'm just good at making friends. A prince's friends aren't necessarily princes, are they? I'll talk to Alice about it tonight. Her heart isn't as big as mine. If you tell her the truth at the last minute, she'll probably faint, Aesop sighed. Thank you for your help. Aesop waved his hand, glanced at Andre and Lovia, and asked, What are you going out to do? Would you mind telling me? Perseus thought for a moment and nodded. Our crown prince is very interested in White Flame, so we would like to pay him a visit. Aesop's eyes lit up. Take Alice and me with you. Didn't you already make up your mind to win over His Highness the Crown Prince? Are you still hung up on Baiyan? Isn't it normal for me to still be hung up on a man like Lord Baiyan? Aesop argued confidently. It's precisely because I know I can't have him no matter what that I want to like other men. Don't worry, I've already completely given up on him in this regard. I'm just still very curious about him. You know, he's a mystery that everyone wants to figure out. Perseus certainly understood. By the way, take this opportunity to get closer to His Highness the Crown Prince. Aesop winked. But you have to pretend you don't know his identity for now. Understand? Otherwise, any kindness or goodwill you show him will be interpreted by him as you being after his identity, which will not be good for developing a relationship with him. Clear. Go and fool Alice later. I'll talk to them and make sure you can all be taken along. Clear. Perseus took Aesop back to where they were. Before Aesop could even stand properly, he hooked his arm around Alice's shoulder and dragged her away. What did you say to her? Andre asked. I told her we were going to find the White Flame, Perseus said. Andre frowned slightly. Is this necessary? Of course, Perseus said. Don't let their youthful appearance fool you. These two girls are already well-known veteran adventurers. They've been in Eagle Peak City much longer than we have, and their understanding of the situation here far surpasses ours. So, we really need their help. Upon hearing this, Andre's expression softened. You mean you want to drag these two women of unknown origin into the mission? Lovia's expression was unfriendly. They are neither of unknown origin nor are they out of nowhere, Perseus said. The Bloodfang Adventure Group they come from is affiliated with Count Murphyat and has a very good relationship with the Count. You two should be quite aware of Count Murphyat's character and reputation. Anyone who can gain his approval is definitely someone we can trust. Lovia was unable to refute him. Judging from Andre's expression, she knew that Andre also agreed with Perseus's statement. Anyway, if anything goes wrong, you'll be held responsible. Lovia glared at Perseus resentfully. What are those two talking about again? Andre looked at Aesop and Alice in the distance. Sigh. Perseus sighed. The Bloodfang adventurers are notoriously lazy. I talked to Miss Aesop a lot just now, mainly trying to persuade her, but persuading her alone is not enough. We also need to persuade Miss Alice. So, Miss Lovia, please don't think that they're scheming to join our team. We need to see if they are interested. Couldn't you have found a more normal assistant? In terms of trustworthiness and usefulness, they're already the most normal. Of course, Lovia wouldn't believe it. She'll behave herself once she sees Mario. I did not tell them your true identities because I was afraid that His Highness the Crown Prince's identity was too astonishing and would cause you inconvenience, Perseus added. You've done very well, Andre said. It's not appropriate for me to reveal my identity yet. Although these two are people you trust, I still don't know them well enough. It's all right. Andy will have a chance to find out. Perseus smiled. Andy, brother? Andre asked with a strange expression. Since we're going to hide our identities, we have to pay attention to details, Perseus said. Excuse me for being so bold, but from now on, in their eyes, you two will be my cousins. Andy? Andre's expression was incredibly subtle. Sister Lucia. Perseus then looked at Lovia. Given my relationship with Helen, you are indeed my cousin. Lovia was once again unable to refute, but she still couldn't help feeling nauseous. She is already considering severing her sisterly relationship with Helen. After a while, Aesop came running back with Alice, all smiles. And so, the trio expanded to a 5-person team to continue their great undertaking of exploring the secrets of the White Flame. Chapter 192, The House of White Flames. As the 5 walked down the road, the trio expanded to a 5-person team to continue their great undertaking of exploring the secrets of the White Flame. Chapter 192, The House of White Flames. As the 5 walked down the road, Aesop naturally took the right-hand side of Andre, almost touching him. The distance was so close that not only was Lovia about to lose her temper, but even Andre couldn't accept it. However, he could not openly tell Aesop to get lost, nor could he use his status as the crown prince to intimidate him. He could only use his signature cold and indifferent demeanor and imposing aura to try to make Aesop back down. But Aesop didn't back down. Instead, she enthusiastically struck up a conversation with Andre. Even though he didn't bother to reply, her enthusiasm didn't diminish at all. Her lovely face was beaming with a bright smile, and her heart was like a volcano that even the coldest water couldn't extinguish. For the first time, Andre was at a loss in front of a girl who wasn't Ivisa. The girls he had been around since childhood were all from prestigious families. Although they were often proud of their status, they were also psychologically vulnerable because they were so well protected by their families. I've never seen anyone as thick-skinned as Aesop. He tried to get Perseus to stop Aesop from getting so close. But Perseus didn't notice what was happening on his side at all. He was focused on Lovia and kept trying to talk to her enthusiastically. Even though her face was so cold it could freeze someone to death, he remained infatuated and persistent. This person's shamelessness is truly heavyweight. While Andre was speechless, he also felt some sympathy for Perseus. Although he had always been ashamed to compare himself to Perseus, a womanizer who was unfaithful, he could not deny that he and Perseus were both men who were troubled by love but never gave up, which made him feel a sense of sympathy for them. So he decided not to bother Perseus and let the others solve his problems, intending to silently endure Aesop's endless harassment. Alice stood on the other side of Aesop, feeling helpless as she looked at her best friend. Finally, Lovia was the first to lose her temper. Do you know where that white flame is right now? This is indeed a very crucial question. Andre felt like he'd been granted a pardon and cleared his throat. Perseus. Aesop. Perseus looked at Aesop. Aesop's smile faded considerably as he thought seriously for a moment. Right now, because of the ruins of the gods, the adventurers in Eagle Peak City have stopped accepting quests and doing missions. They're either busy training to improve their physical condition or busy forming cliques, all waiting for the ruins to open. I'm asking about White Flame, Lovia said coldly. Lord Bayan is different from the others. He is still the same as before, going out of the city to do missions every day. He spends most of his time outside the city and does not communicate with anyone, Aesop said. We do know where he lives, but he has already left the city long ago, and we can't find him there. Lovia is about to have an attack. Perseus quickly suggested, let's go check where he lived first. Even if we can't find him right now, we can always find clues in the places where he lived. Aesop replied. She led the group to a very remote area. Although it wasn't as lifeless as a slum, it was still empty and quiet, and it was difficult to see anyone.